What if I told you that you could become fearless? That you could become the sort of person who has no fear for anything. The sort of person who fears no one. Would you want that? Well, if you do, or if that topic interests you, this video is for you. Some of you will probably be writing in the comment section that only a fool has no fear, or something along those lines, and of course that's correct. I am blessed with quite a perceptive and intelligent audience, so yes, it was a trick question, if you will. We need fear. We need to be able to feel fear. It's a natural thing. It keeps us alive. What we're talking about is management of fear. And I believe that's more important now than it has been for a long time. And I'll explain why. Mainly because people seem to be motivated by fear these days. People are fed fear through mainstream media, through social media, and it's all of the time. If you watch TV, the news, the so-called news on TV, it's basically about what you should be worried about. And that's unhealthy. Now, we know that fear, if it's not managed, it kind of breeds things like hatred. I often say that weak minds convert their fears into hatred. And there are lots of examples of that. And that's not a good thing. Historically speaking, it has led to horrible things. Horrible things. And we don't have to go very far back in history either. And I would argue that it's happening right now. Now, how do we manage fear? Well, I happen to have a few ideas about that. Now, before I continue with this video, I will ask you to subscribe to this channel, or at least consider subscribing, and click on that bell and choose all notifications. YouTube is also one of those platforms that is promoting fear. It's promoting sensationalism. Excuse my Norwegian here. A video like this that is not sensationalist, if you will likely be suppressed in the system, in the algorithm, and all that. So if you would consider subscribing to this channel and watching this video to the end, I would be it would make me very happy, and I will thank you in advance for doing that. So how do we become fearless, or how do we manage fear to the point that fear is no longer it's not a hindrance in any situation? I will say that I'm not saying this to brag or anything like that, and I'm not claiming that I'm extremely tough or anything like that, but I do not feel fear, honestly. I think that it has to do with my thirst for knowledge. Because if you think about it, the more you know, the less you fear. I'll give you an example. I spent the night here in this wonderful shelter by the river the other day, and there are lots of sounds from animals and, around in the trees and here in the river. And some people get a little bit scared because they hear a sound that is spooky. But if you know which animal is making that sound, it won't scare you. Knowledge takes away the fear. And this can be applied to any situation. And I'm sure that you can think of quite a few examples from your own life where your knowledge about something made you less fearful or not fearful at all. Now, when it comes to dealing with other people, some people have a lot of anxiety concerning that. Some people have an anxiety when it comes to speaking to a crowd of people. Other people, they might be, they might see someone on the street, someone with a, I don't know, a rough appearance, and they might feel that, oh, I don't want to get in trouble with that person. Now, there is no need to have fear for anyone. And I'll give you a little trick here. Everyone has weaknesses. Anyone, you can point at anyone out on the street or, oops, spilling my coffee here. Everyone has weaknesses. Become a person who is good at identifying the weakness in other people. With practice, you will become quite skilled at that. Because people, either they will wear that weakness on their sleeve, so to speak, or they will try the opposite. They will try to do the opposite of showing that weakness. For instance, when I see someone, just an example here, the kind of people who, they do everything to appear tough. They take a bunch of steroids, and they have maybe a certain haircut and clothes that, they're very tough. When I see that, I see a boy. I see a boy who is not sure of himself. Here comes the wind. Now, there are a few concepts and ideas that connect directly with my ancestry and my culture as a Norseman, Viking. And one of them is that respect must be earned. And this is something that most people will disagree with, because people feel that respect should be there by default. And that's a discussion that I will not get into in this video. And it's okay if you disagree. I mean, we are adults here. We can disagree. That's okay. But I will say that if you feel that, like I do, that people must earn my respect, what comes with that is that you do not fear people. You just don't. It's something I do not do. I don't fear people. It doesn't matter who it is. I do not fear human beings. And another concept here is that you must do the best you can. You must put your pride into your work, in every effort here in life. You must do what you can. You must do the best you can in any situation. And you know what? Whatever happens, if you know that you did your best, it's okay. Then that's good enough. And a technique that you could use, and you probably have heard this before, ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Now, don't apply this to every situation, like if you're about to go bungee jumping off a bridge. Well, don't ask yourself that question, I guess. The worst that could happen is that they haven't tied the bungee cord and you die. So, but let's say that, the one situation that fills young men today for some reason with fear is to go over to some girl and talk with them. What's the worst that could happen? Not much. If she doesn't like you, or if you're acting stupid, she will tell you to go away. You know, probably a lesson learned for you, and that's okay. It's not the end of the world. I mean, and you can apply that to many situations in life. And maybe you should, you know, don't be fearful. Don't let fear control you. Nothing good comes from things we do that are motivated by fear. Some people, they make decisions in life based on fear. What I mean by that is that they ask themselves, or they tell themselves that, well, if I do this, well, it could end badly. Yeah, sure. Most things can end badly. But usually they don't. And what happens when people limit themselves like that is that they do not get that experience that tells them that things have a tendency to turn out okay. You need to learn by experience that it will be okay. It might seem scary, but most often it's not. It's not scary. It's fine, you know. So you need to get out there. You need to challenge yourself and get that experience that it's okay. There was no reason to be fearful about this, you know. Now, I have talked a lot about freedom here on this channel, and I truly believe that you cannot be free if you are fearful. You cannot be free if you let fear make decisions for you. If you want to be free, you need to control your fear. Now, this comes with a warning. When you become a person in complete control of fear, you will see that other people around you most likely are very different, because they are controlled by and often motivated by fear. It's something I can almost smell. It's everywhere. And it's not nice. It's not nice to see. It's kind of depressing, to be honest with you. They limit themselves. They talk themselves down, if that's the right expression. And yeah, I don't like to see that. I want people to live life to the fullest. I want people to be free. I want people to be happy. And with that, I will leave you for now. Hope you enjoyed this video. Check out one of the other videos that should appear on the end screen. Thank you.